Hey guys, this is Elias with Softfly, and in this video I'm going to show you how to export metabox custom fields to a CSV using WP All Export. Now, the first step is go here to All Export, then New Export, and then select the post type you want to export. In this case, it's restaurants, so we're going to export 1200 restaurants, and I'm going to click here on the Customize Export File button because I don't want to migrate these restaurants. If I click here, all of the data associated with this post type will be exported in a CSV. So I don't want that because I don't need all of the data. I only need some of it, right? Cool. So this is the export template, and you can think of this like columns of your CSV. Now, if I hit preview, you get this spreadsheet-like layout. So it's a little bit easier for you to understand what's going on here. So we have our ID, title, and content. But I don't need the ID, so I'm gonna drag that off. And there you go, we don't have that anymore. So I'm gonna start dragging and dropping stuff here from this metabox section, right? So we have our map address, and if I preview, there we go, that it is, right? But I don't want this map address because that map address is to be used here with Google Maps, right? So it's not that friendly, readable maybe. So I'm gonna drag this off, and I'm gonna add a new custom field by clicking here on this option that says custom export field. I'm gonna call this address, all right? And I'm gonna drag and drop some elements here, for example, the street, then comma, then the maybe the neighborhood, and lastly the city. Now I want to save this, preview, and there we go. This is a lot friendlier. This is nicer, right? But maybe let's add the country there just because, right? Country, cool. There we go. That's good. Now, let's continue. We have here the opening and closing times. So preview, there you go. We have this format, but I'm going to use a PHP function I have prepared, all right? So I'm going to paste that here. Then I'm going to save my function. I'm going to take this name, right? This is the name of my function, right? And I'm going to enable this option that says export the value returned by a PHP function. Now, this is where I'm going to paste my function name, and this function name will run in this value. Now, what's this value, you ask? Well, it's whatever field you have here, right here, right? So we're going to run this function, right, in this field. So I'm going to save this, preview, and there we go. We have changed our time format. I'm going to do the same with this closing time element, right? So I'm going to paste that here. You can use the same function if you want. There you go. That's nicer. Now I have here this open since field, and you can see it's a date field, right? But we can change its format too. Now guys, I showed you how to change the date format with a PHP function, but you can also change this time format using this feature right here. Now let's do that with this open scenes field, right? I'm gonna type in here, I don't know, maybe D, F, J, and maybe Y. Yeah, let's try with this date format. This is a PHP date format. So I'm gonna save this, preview, and there we go. This is nicer. So we're gonna keep it like that, all right? Then I'm gonna, we have here this rating. Good, so we have 5, 3, 2, 4, whatever. But I'm gonna do this nicer. I'm gonna make this a custom export field. I'm gonna type in here rating, right? And then I'm gonna drag and drop this element here, and I'm gonna type in here stars. Cool, so 5 stars, 2 stars, 3 stars, whatever. It's good, right? Then we have here our cuisine, and this cuisine should be actually on here. I believe that's better. Cool. And then we have our dress code, executive chef, phone number, website, gallery, price range. We don't want the price range actually, because look at it. It's a simple 2, 2, 4, and this is the reason why we have this data like this. I'm gonna show you guys right now. In this, for example, we're gonna use this bucket lunch restaurant. So I'm gonna edit this. And here on the details tab, we have here our rating. Now this field is created using metabox and the value is 4, but the label of that value is 4 stars, right? Same here with this menu, I believe. Yeah, here it is. There you go. This has $3 signs, but the value of this field is 3. So this is what we're looking here, right? Price range. Now, we have another element we can use instead of this one, which is average price, right? So if I hit preview, you can see 20 and over, 20 and over. This is 2, so this is one is 20 and over. This one's 4, so this one is 40 and over. This one's 2, so 20, 220, 220. Well, a lot of them are 30. Oh, this one, 3 and 30, right? So we don't need this price range element. So I'm going to drag that off. Cool. All right. So then we have the recommended dishes, which is a repeater field. You can see the different dishes here. BBQ ribs, and this is the description for the BBQ ribs, all right? And this is a price for the BBQ ribs. Now, if you want to see that here, we have this repeater field. If you're coming from Jet Engine or ACF, that's how it's called there. But here in Metabox, it's called a cloneable group, right? So we have these different dishes with 3 different fields, right? So this is what we have here. So this, for example, this second element, this second dish, right? This is a description for that second dish, and this is the price for that second dish. And these buffalo wings, this is the description for that third element, and this is the price for that third element, right? So if you want to maybe set this a little bit nicer, you can click on the repeater element and choose to display each repeater row in its own CSV line. Now, if you do this, you will have a bunch of empty columns, empty rows in your file, like those. So let me show you real quick. So here we have BBQ ribs, this one, and so on and so forth. And all of these other rows and columns are empty. So if you don't want that, right, you can enable this fill empty column option, and it will be filled with the rest of the data, right? Just copy it here, right? It's cool. Now, lastly, we have our reviews, right? So this reviews is another repeater element, which again in Metabox is clonable groups. So we can add as many as we want. It's good. Cool. But I don't want to do anything with this one, just to show you guys that you can export this however you want. You can see it's separated with pipes too. So this Raymond O'Brien wrote this, right, and left a 5-star rating, right? Cool. Now, guys, I believe we have everything we need here in our import file. I only want to change this title because it doesn't make sense for we're exporting restaurants, so title it's not good. Maybe name, right? That's better. And maybe here, not content, but description. That will be better, right? And there we go. That's more like it. Cool. So let's continue. We have here some advanced options for the CSV, and remember CSV stands for comma separated values, but you can have that separated with semicolons or whatever you want. So you can change that there, and you can also choose not to include the header row. So good. I'm gonna leave it like that though. And here we have the export type options, and you can change that For example, you can export this in CSV like we're gonna do, and CSV is actually compatible and readable by any spreadsheet software like Numbers, or maybe Open Excel or Google Sheets, OneDrive, whatnot. But if you want to export this in XLS or XLSX, you can also do that like so, right? Now you have the option to export this in XML, and for this you have two options. You can export this in simple XML or build your own XML feed. Because if I hit preview here we have the XML in the exact order we place them here, like columns, right? And we even have the same names and the same custom fields and the same functions and whatnot. But if you need to have more flexibility over this XML structure, you can use this custom XML feed and, well, go nuts there, right? But we won't be doing that. We're going to stick with the CSV. If you want to know more about the different export types, or how to run functions, or how to do anything that we have done here, you can go to our website at wplimport.com, and from there click on the docs menu and go nuts there. Or you can also check out the other videos in our channel. That's totally up to you guys. Now I'm going to continue with our CSV export, right? And here we have the scheduling options, which will allow you guys to maybe automate this export and make it run in maybe certain days on the weeks, or maybe once a month, or I don't know, however you see fit. We have two options for that. We have the automatic scheduling service, which is a paid service for only $9 a month. But you can choose not to use this service and use cron jobs instead, which is free. That's up to you. Now, here we have more info on how to use cron jobs with WPL export. So be sure to read that if you're interested, or click here to subscribe to the automatic scheduling service, which it's a lot easier because cron jobs, it's a little bit more technical. Here you just select the days you want to run this export in, and then from here you can select the times you want this export to run, right? So this is cool, especially when you combine it with something like Zapier maybe, so you can schedule this export maybe to run each Monday at 12 a.m. and you set Zapier to send you an email and a copy of this export file via email when this runs, right? So this is very useful. Or maybe you can connect that to your ERP, or send it to Dropbox, to Google Drive, or whatever. There is a little bit less possibilities with WPL export and Zapier, right? So I'm not going to do this example, so I'm going to close this. And here we have a bunch of options, which if you read them, you will know what they do because they are very much self-explanatory. For example, this one will make this export run each time a restaurant is created. So if I enable this, save it, well, I can go and create a new restaurant and this export will fire. Now, again, if you have this connected with Zapier maybe, and I create a new restaurant, well, this export is going to run, and then Zapier will email that file to you, or send you a notification, or do whatever you have set up this to do. These other ones are going to export the restaurants only once. If you rerun this export, it will only include the records that have not been previously exported, right? So if, for example, I run this 1,200 restaurants, and tomorrow I create 10 new restaurants, and run this export again with this option enabled, well, this 1,200 won't be exported in that occasion, just the 10 new ones I have created. And this one will export only the restaurants that have been modified since the last export. So if some of these restaurants change maybe the rating, right? Well, WP export will export only those. So if you want to know more, just hover on the question marks and you will know what this option does. Or you can also go to our website, click on the docs menu and learn more there, right? So I'm gonna save and run this export. And here it's gonna take a few seconds while WPL export gathers all of our restaurants, but it should be fairly quick. All right, so the export is completed. So we can click here to download our CSV. And if I open it, right, we can see here all of our data, the name, description, the cuisine, address, opening and closing times with the new format which we made with PHP. Then this open since field, which we did with the WPL export UI, changing the date format. Then this combined field with the star ratings we use. It's good. Dress code, chef, phone number, website, gallery with all of the images. And then this average price, recommended dishes. They are all in their own row, so that's great. And finally, we have here our reviews. So this is pretty neat, guys. We have here some other options. You can download this bundle, and it will download a zip file that you can use with WPL import to migrate all of these restaurants to another site with all of the configurations and all of the map already done. You can know more about this in wplimport.com, then docs, and then in the migrate section, right? Then we have here our scheduling options again. Here we have a video on how to connect this with Zapier. And here we have the option to export, edit, import, where you can download this CSV, right? Edit this CSV and then import it back with WPL import. Now, finally, we have this secure URL where you can generate this, right? Copy this URL and use it maybe to share it with someone that you don't want to actually run this export or whatever. You can share this URL and it will download automatically the latest version of this file. So this is pretty neat because even if you rerun this export with new data or modify it or whatever, this URL will pull the latest file. So it's good. And there you go, guys. That's it. That's how you export metabox custom fields to a CSV using WP All Export. Now, I really hope you enjoyed this video, guys, and if you want to know more about how to import or export other metabox data, or maybe if you're using Jet Engine, custom fields, or I don't know, maybe you want to import or export other WordPress data like WooCommerce products or orders, reviews, and whatnot, just check out the other videos in our channel, check out our docs at wplimport.com, and well, see you next time.